So the chapter that we are going to discuss now is audit reporting. See, first of all, get a clarification that whatever the auditing syllabus that we are discussing at CA Inter level, it is completely same, exactly entire syllabus is there even at CA Final. In CA Final, whatever you learn now, CA Inter curriculum, whatever you are learning here, this will occupy 50 to 60 marks of CA Final paper. If you are perfect in CA Inter auditing, you can easily crack CA Final auditing. I mean, it is not even a 10% difficulty also. You can easily crack CA Final if at all you are very confident in CA Inter. In CA Final also, this audit reporting is there, which is having a decent weightage of 10 to 15 marks. Even at CA Inter, we have the weightage of 10 to 15 marks. I mean, I can say maximum of 20 marks, minimum 10 marks from audit reporting chapter, minimum 10 marks. Now, this chapter, I divide it into two parts. Like standards relating to this chapter, and the other part is we have divided this into other part where 143 section requirements. Now, what are the standards that we need to cover in reporting? What standards that we are covering under audit reporting? We are going to cover 700, 701, 705, 706, 710, 299, and 610. These are the 7 standards that we are going to cover in this segment. And of course, under 143, we are going to discuss about CARO 2016. For you, 2016 CARO is applicable for November. But the material which I gave you is CARO 2020 material. CARO 2020 is improved version of CARO 2016, in fact. So if you read CARO 2020, CARO 2016 is nothing for you. We'll see, depending upon the time availability, either I'll explain this or I'll explain that. So 7 or 8 points only were there in CARO. That is very important for us. Fine. Now, audit reporting. First of all, anything when you are learning, first you should understand why you are learning. Why are we learning this entire subject of auditing? Because our objective is to give opinion on financial statements. How do we give opinion on financial statements? Through audit report. And how to prepare this audit report? What are the rules and regulations? If at all we understand the reporting concept perfectly, rest all other auditing concepts, including basic concepts, you can understand even more beautifully. That's the beauty of reporting chapter. If at all you understood thoroughly audit reporting, I'm telling you, auditing syllabus is quite easy for you. So the second best chapter for me to understand auditing is, apart from fundamentals, this is another one which you need to be thorough at. That's the reason I'm starting at the very beginning. Very beginning, we are starting with the audit report discussion. Now, so first of all, what is the audit report format? What are the points will be there in the audit report? The points that will be there in audit report are contents of the audit report. I have given you the material, you can see that. Contents of the audit report. These are the contents of the audit report. First, there should be a title, addressee, opinion para, because this is the ultimate thing which we are going to give. Our objective of audit is to obtain reasonable assurance and to give opinion. This is the purpose why we are doing audit, why we are learning the entire subject of auditing. The sole purpose is opinion para. The sole purpose is opinion para. Basis for opinion, material uncertainty related to going concern, key audit matter, emphasis of matter, other matter veracy. These 4 points I have highlighted with a bold letter, and I told you applicable as per respective standards. If you see SCS 700 standard as per study material, you don't find these 4 lines. You find a standard audit report format. But what is the consolidated main audit report format, inclusive of every element, possible elements, all together? This is a format. If these points are applicable, keep it. If not applicable, don't need to keep it. And responsibilities of management, responsibilities of auditor, report on legal and regulatory requirements, like reporting under section 143 of Companies Act. That's a legal requirement. Signature of the auditor, place of the auditor, and date of the auditor's report. And this is a unique concept, new concept, unique, UDIN number, unique document identification number. You didn't. I'll tell you all that. Totally, I can say there are 15 contents of audit report, out of which 4 are variable. Okay, they may or may not, depending upon the scenario. Now, now, what is the first content of audit report? By the way, now first we are going to discuss about SA 700. What is SA 700? Remember, whenever we are discussing of any standard, suppose you see in the NOS, nature, objective and scope of audit, we covered about SA 200, we covered SA 210, we covered SA 220. What is SA 200? Overall objectives of an independent auditor and conduct of an audit in accordance with standards on auditing. SA 210, agreeing on terms of engagement. SA 220, quality control of audit of financial statements. Whenever you read a heading of the standard, a number of the standard number, you should be very clear in the heading. The heading should be properly read and understood. Whenever you're writing answer also, you should mention full heading. What is SA 700? Forming an opinion and reporting on financial statements, forming of an opinion. How you should form an opinion, what points that you should consider while you have to form the opinion. Forming the opinion means what opinion I should issue. First, I must feel that. How to form this opinion and how to report. How to report? Through audit report. How do you prepare audit report? First thing that I will use in audit report is title. The title of the audit report should be with a heading called Independent Auditor's Report. The heading of the audit report should be very clear. Independent Auditor Report. This is a title. Second one, addressee. To whom I will address? To engagement letter I will address to management because I am working with management. Whereas audit report I am giving for members, to the shareholders or to the members of members ABC Private Limited, example, whatever. And after addressing, the first and foremost paragraph that you have to, without wasting the time of the shareholders, first to give what is your opinion. What is your opinion? Straight away come into the para. No other discussion in audit report. As soon as user look at the audit report, the first thing that he will notice is opinion, because that is what ultimately matters, right? In audit, opinion para. What is opinion para? How many kinds of opinion will be there? As I told you, opinions are 2 types: positive opinion and negative opinion. Positive opinion, negative opinion. But if you observe SA 700, read with SA 705. If you read these 2 standards together, what is SA 705? You know, modification. What is SA 705? Modifications to the opinion. Modifications to the opinion in the independent auditor's report. When someone, when you ask someone what is SA 705 heading, they say modified opinion. Modified opinion is not heading. Modifications to the opinion in the independent auditor's report is the total heading. When you ask somebody what is SA 701 heading, they say key audit matter. No, that's not the heading. That is a concept. What is the heading? Communicating key audit matters in the independent auditor's report. Fine. So, as per SA 700, read with 705, the standards divides the opinions into 2 parts technically: unmodified opinion, modified opinion. Unmodified opinion and modified opinion. How to express unmodified opinion was given under SA 700 was given under SA 700. How to give unmodified opinion was explained in SA 700. How to give modified opinion was explained in SA 705. Sir, you said positive, negative. Yeah, those were only here given. What is positive opinion, what is negative opinion is given here. Okay, now. Just a minute. Yes. So the standard divides the opinions into two types: unmodified opinion and modified opinion. Generally, people say that unmodified opinion is a positive opinion, modified opinion is a negative opinion. But I don't agree with this exactly. Modified opinion has again subtypes. But first of all, let us understand when auditor should issue unmodified opinion, when auditor has to issue modified opinion. See, company management gave you balance sheet and P&L. The board of directors have given you balance sheet and P&L. You verified equity, liabilities, assets and all. You verified incomes and expenses, profit, everything you verified. You felt everything is fine. You felt everything is fine. They don't require any modification. They don't require any modification. They don't require any modification. Okay, I'll unmute somebody, Andy. I'll unmute somebody for the sake of convenience. Who wants to participate? Just let me know in the chat box who wants to participate. No other than person who participated yesterday. Hari. Yeah, okay, Hari Krishna. I've unmuted you kindly. Yeah. Hari Krishna, are you there? Hari Krishna, I've unmuted you. Hari Krishna, I've unmuted you, ma, please. I'm not audible. It is not audible. Somebody else? Somebody else? Can you please join? Hari Krishna, I'm unmuting you, please. Are you there? Suppose, Sandhya, I'm doing audit of balance sheet and P&L of some company. There is a company, I'm doing audit of the balance sheet and a P&L. Okay. I verified each and every asset, liability, everything I verified. I verified incomes, expenses, everything. I felt they don't require any modification. What do you mean by they don't require modification? Means, are they containing material misstatements or are they not containing material misstatements?
Not containing material misstatements.
They are not containing material misstatements. They are not containing misstatements. That's the reason I felt they don't require modification. They don't require modification. I will also give my opinion. Which opinion? Unmodified. I will also agree. I will also accept the financial statements without modification. And that opinion is called as what? Unmodified opinion. Understood? Suppose balance sheet P&L were there. Some values are not correct. When values are not correct, tell me what company management has to do. Have to modify them. Are you clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So they have to modify. They have to rectify. When values are not correct, they have to rectify. Suppose I requested management. They rectified it. They rectified and gave me corrected financial statement. After rectifying, do they require any modification?
No, sir.
No. After rectifying, they don't require modification. Again, I'll give which opinion? Unmodified opinion. Are you clear?
Opinion.
Suppose,
Yes, sir.
Suppose I told management, sir, your balance sheet having so many mistakes. I told them, please modify the mistakes. Management said, no, sir, we don't want to rectify. We will, as it is, issue balance sheet P&L. Let the mistakes be. No problem. We will, as it is, issue. They are not rectifying mistakes. Now tell me, the balance sheet which contains mistakes, as it is, were issued to the public. Can you give unmodified opinion? Can you say public that they don't require any modification?
No, sir.
No. What opinion you have to give? You have to give modified opinion.
Modified opinion.
Now you understood the words along with the concept.
Yes, sir.
Every word has a meaning. Every word has a meaning. People say unmodified opinion means positive opinion, modified means negative opinion. What does that mean? That's not the correct way of explaining. Unmodified opinion means when you feel financial statements are prepared which are free from material misstatements, you give unmodified opinion. Suppose you don't know something, whether financial statements are correct or incorrect, you don't know. Or you have a proof that they are containing mistakes, but they were not rectified. As it is were issued to the public, you need to give modified. You need to tell in the audit report, dear shareholders, that balance sheet contains mistake that require modification. You tell them that require modification. So when you tell the financial statements require modification, we call it as what opinion? Modified opinion. Now, this unmodified opinion is also called as clean opinion, is also called as unqualified opinion. Modified opinion is again divided into three types. Again divided into three types. Qualified opinion, adverse opinion, disclaimer of opinion. They are again subdivided into three types. Qualified, adverse, disclaimer. If you ask me, unqualified, qualified or positive opinions in general. Adverse opinion is a negative opinion. What is adverse opinion? Is a negative opinion. I am expressing negative feeling towards it. Unqualified or qualified, I am giving positive. I am giving positive. Whereas disclaimer, there is no opinion at all. Disclaimer, there is no opinion at all. Getting it? Now, sir, what is meant by unqualified opinion and what is meant by qualified opinion? Sir, generally qualified means a positive word, no? Qualified means something, it's a superior word, it's a positive word. But you are saying qualified opinion is a modified opinion. First of all, understand qualified means conditional. Qualification means objection. Qualification means remark. Food Safety Authority of India has inspected Nestle and found some qualifications. Found some qualifications means what? Some remarks they found. Qualified is a negative term. Are you clear? Unqualified, without any conditions, without any remark, I'm giving opinion. That's unqualified. Unconditional. Qualified means conditional. Sir, when auditor can give unmodified opinion? When he will give unmodified opinion? When auditor has obtained sufficient appropriate audit evidence. When auditor has obtained sufficient appropriate audit evidence and concluded, he decided based on that and concluded that financial statements are free from material misstatements. When the auditor concluded like this, how can you say financials are not having mistakes? You need evidence, no?
Yes, sir.
Based on evidence, you can conclude. Without evidence, you cannot conclude. Then auditor will give unmodified. Okay, sir. Unmodified, I understood. When modified opinion is issued, write reverse statement. When auditor has obtained sufficient and appropriate audit evidence and concluded, what he concluded? And concluded that financial statements are not free from material misstatement. Financial statements are free from material misstatement means, Sandhya, what is that meaning? Free from material misstatement means they don't contain mistakes.
No any modification.
Not free from mistakes means what? It is containing mistakes. When financial statements are not free from mistakes, you give modified opinion. And suppose you are unable to get information, you are unable to obtain audit evidence, you are unable to get evidence to conclude financial statements are free from material misstatements. Sandhya, do you think financial statements are free from material misstatement? Can you conclude it? No. Why? You are unable to obtain evidence. I am unable to obtain evidence to tell confidently that balance sheet P&L are free from mistakes. Then also you give modified opinion. Then also you give which opinion? Modified opinion. This is the meaning of unmodified and modified. Now, this modified opinion is again subclassified into three types. Qualified opinion, adverse opinion, disclaimer of opinion. Disclaimer of opinion means I'm denying to give opinion. Fine. Sir, when should I issue qualified? When should I issue adverse? When should I issue disclaimer? Fine. There is a balance sheet. Fixed assets are some 500 crores. Current assets are some 500 crores, which consists of so many sub-items. Equity consisting of so many items, some 300 crores. Outside liabilities altogether 700 crores. All outside liabilities altogether Outside liabilities altogether 700 crores. So that is how the balance sheet of the company 1000 crores. Now Sandhya, are you there? In line?
Yes, sir.
I verified fixed assets, depreciation, intangibles, buildings, plant and machinery, depreciation workings, NRV workings, so many I verified. I in fact spent many days. Fixed asset value is completely correct. Current asset value is completely correct. Equity value completely correct. Liabilities also completely correct. By the way, Sandhya, when I'm saying they're completely correct, am I saying absolutely or am I saying reasonably?
Reasonably.
Exactly. Reasonably, they are all correct according to me. Now tell me, Sandhya, in this case, which opinion you will give?
Unmodified opinion.
Exactly. You will give unmodified opinion or unqualified opinion or clean opinion. Clean opinion. You will just say clean check. Financial statements are absolutely, sorry, financial statements are free from material misstatements. Unmodified. Suppose Sandhya, in current assets, inventory value is 200 crores. Out of inventory, one item of inventory value is 50 crores. Out of that 50 crores, its NRV value is 47 crore. NRV value is 47. Whichever is lower means what valuation should be done? 47.
47 crore.
But company showed 50 crores only. Company showed 50 crores only. Now there is a mistake of 3 crores. There is a mistake of 3 crores. Remaining fixed asset is correct, current asset is correct, equity is correct, liability, everything else is correct. Only 3 crore mistake is there. Now tell me, can I say, dear shareholders, don't believe this balance sheet. This balance sheet is entirely misleading. Never believe this. Can I say this?
No, sir.
Why?
Because remaining all are correct. Only inventory part is wrong.
Exactly. So I'll give here which opinion? Qualified opinion. I'll give which opinion? Qualified. Because the mistake is material. But I cannot say entire balance sheet is wrong. So
Yes,
I will say balance sheet is true and fair, except inventory which has been overvalued by 3 crores. Yes or no?
Yes,
Suppose
sir.
it is not 3 crores, 3,000 rupees. Now tell me which opinion I will give.
Unmodified opinion.
Unmodified, exactly. Unqualified or unmodified. Why? Because 3,000 rupees. Why you have to point out here? In a company, 1,000 crore assets, 3,000 rupees mistake you found. Will you highlight that mistake? It is immaterial. What is it? It is immaterial. Are you? Yes or no? No, no. So qualified opinion. You will say financial statements are true and fair except so and so. No. Same balance sheet you take. Fixed asset is overstated by 50 crore out of 500 crores. Current assets are overstated by 30 crores. Liability, outside liabilities were understated by 50 crore out of 700 crore. Equity has been correctly given 300 crore. So that's how balance sheet of 1,000 crores came into picture. Now tell me, Sandhya, now tell me, can I say balance sheet is true and fair except fixed assets were overstated by 50 crores, except current assets are overstated by 30 crores, except outside liabilities were understated by 50 crore? Can I?
No, sir. No, sir.
Here there are so many mistakes. There are so many mistakes. This is a pervasive level. What is this? This is a pervasive level mistakes. They are not just one or two material. They are material. Of course, every mistake is material value. Not only material. They are impacting entire balance sheet. They are misrepresenting entire balance sheet. Is entirely misleading. Pervasive. I'll give which opinion? Adverse.
Adverse opinion.
I will straight away say, don't believe that balance sheet. The aforesaid balance sheet is not a true and fair. That is adverse opinion. If mistakes are material and pervasive, I will obviously give adverse opinion. If mistakes are material but not pervasive, I will give qualified opinion. If there is no mistake at all material, I will give unqualified opinion. Now suppose Sandhya, again balance sheet I'm verifying balance sheet. Fixed assets some 500 crores. Again current assets some 500 crores. A liability some 700 crores. Equity some 300 crores. This is a balance sheet of the company. A big entity. In this, the inventories are 200 crores. Out of that inventory, I selected class 1 inventory whose value is 50 crores. I am asking management what is NRV. Management did not give me information, did not give me the information of NRV. Even I tried to get information about NRV. I am not getting information. Sandhya, I am not getting information. Let us assume that is 5 crores, not 50, 5 crores. 5 crores worth of inventory, NRV details are not available. No information. But remaining items and all I know. Remaining all are correct also. Now tell me, oh my God, inventory worth of 5 crore information is not available. Sorry, I cannot give opinion. Can I say this?
No, sir.
Can I say, I cannot give opinion because inventory, I don't know what is it. You know everything, right? You know everything else, right? Except inventory worth of 5 crores, you don't know what is NRV. Of course, this is material. This is material. What if this goes wrong? What if this entire 5 crore is wrong? Sandhya, what is the consequence? If entire 5 crore is wrong, is it material misstatement or immaterial misstatement? If at all.
Material mistake.
If at all it goes wrong, it's a material. But do I know is it correct or incorrect? Do I know?
No.
I don't know whether it is correct or incorrect. So I mean the value is material, but I don't know whether it is correct or incorrect.
Correct.
Getting the point?
Yes, sir.
1 minute, please. Yeah, Sandhya.
Yes, sir.
There is an inventory worth of 5 crore for which I'm not sure whether that 5 crore is correct or incorrect. I don't have evidence. Correct, no?
Yes, sir.
Just because of this 5 crore, can I say balance sheet is unpredictable? Can I say entire balance sheet? I don't know.
No, sir.
So you will give which opinion here also?
Qualified.
You will say qualified. You will say balance sheet is true and fair. Except. Did you say inventory wrong? I don't know.
Class 1 inventory.
Except inventory worth of 5 crore, we do not obtain sufficient appropriate evidence regarding NRV. Hence, we are not commenting on that. That's it, no?
Yes, sir.
Am I saying this is wrongly done?
No.
No. See, understand now. When evidence is not available, it depends on the severity. You will either give qualified opinion or you will give disclaimer opinion. Examples. Again, balance sheet you take. Fixed assets 500 crores. Current assets 500 crores. Equity and liabilities. Everywhere you got evidence. Out of current assets, 200 crore worth of inventory was there in a particular godown. Sandhya. And that godown was situated in an area where floods were floated recently. You can't go and verify single rupee of inventory. 200 crores worth of inventory, you don't know whether it is really there or not. Whereas entirely that area is flooded. In fact, you believe that inventory would have been already lost. But you don't know. You don't have evidence. Management don't have evidence. No CCTV cameras. Nothing is there. Now tell me, can I give opinion on the balance sheet entirely saying true and fair view? Can
No,
I say?
sir.
Why? Inventory is not only material. 200 crores. If entire 200 crore is wrong, balance sheet itself, company position itself will mislead. Yes or no? It is pervasive.
Yes,
For a material and pervasive item, I don't have evidence. For a material and pervasive item, we don't have evidence means why you will give opinion? Don't give opinion. I'm not sure. I don't give opinion. That is called disclaimer of opinion. Typically speaking, logically speaking, disclaimer of opinion is not an opinion at all. Correct, no, Sandhya?
Yes, sir.
So, opinions are two types broadly as per the standard: unmodified opinion and modified opinion. What are the types of modified opinion were explained in SA 705? Qualified opinion, adverse opinion, disclaimer of opinion. What is unmodified opinion? It is also called as unqualified opinion. This kind of breakup is given in 700. The classifications of modified opinion is given in 705. Qualified opinion is issued in two situations. Yes or no? When you found mistake, it is material but not pervasive. Suppose you found a mistake. Suppose you did not get evidence. And that evidence which you did not get, that item is material but not pervasive. Suppose adverse opinion, you found a mistake. Which is material and pervasive. You will get adverse. Disclaimer. You did not get evidence. You did not get evidence. Yes or no? And the
Yes, sir.
evidence for which you did not get, that which item, that item is material and pervasive. I'll give disclaimer. Now you see,
Yes,
Sandhya,
sir.
qualified opinion, misstatement, material. Not evidence, no, I mean, no evidence is available, but not pervasive. These two
Pervasive.
items, if you split into two parts, you will get adverse and disclaimer. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Instead of but not, you just have to say and. Yes or no?
And yes, sir.
Only difference. Now tell me, qualified opinion definition will have how many parts? Two parts. Adverse opinion definition will have only one part.
One
Disclaimer
part.
opinion definition will have only one part.
One part.
Unqualified opinion definition will also have only one part.
Part.
Now we understood in which scenario which opinion to give. Now let us frame the definitions. Can we frame the definitions? What
Yes,
is
sir.
an unqualified opinion? Have you obtained sufficient appropriate evidence in unqualified opinion, Sandhya?
Yes, sir.
Yes. If auditor concludes based on sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. If the auditor concludes based on sufficient and appropriate audit evidence, what you calculate that financial statements are free from material misstatements. You'll give which opinion? Unqualified opinion. Correct? No?
Yes, sir.
Qualified opinion is issued in two parts, no? Two cases, no? So I need to describe a case. Two cases are there. One case, evidence is there. Another case, evidence is not there. Now, I have evidence. Auditor concludes. If auditor concluded that financial statements are, if the auditor concluded, by the way, how auditor has concluded? Based on sufficient appropriate evidence, no?
Yes, sir.
The auditor concluded based on sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. You concluded based on evidence. What you have concluded? That financial statements are containing misstatements which are material, and also pervasive, but not pervasive.
And also pervasive.
No, but not pervasive.
Sorry, sir.
And also pervasive means adverse, no?
Adverse opinion.
I know, you told me accidentally. And second case, when you give qualified opinion, auditor is unable to obtain sufficient and appropriate evidence. You were unable to obtain evidence. And what you concluded based on that? And concluded the possible effect of undetected misstatement, if any, could be material but not pervasive. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now the crux of the definition is here, where students generally confuse. Auditor is unable to obtain evidence. Okay, fine, you are unable to obtain evidence. What is the problem? Because of this, I concluded the possible effect of undetected misstatement. In our example, inventory value 5 crores, NRV working 0. I don't know. What now? If at all something goes wrong here, worst case, how much is the mistake value? 5
crores.
Maximum mistake, worst case, if at all possibly, if something goes wrong, possible effect of undetected misstatement. Now tell me, Sandhya, do we find any mistake here?
No,
I don't know whether there is a mistake. See, if I know NRV, no. I know whether there is a mistake or not. I can compare at what value they valued, at what price they should value. I can compare and tell there is a mistake or not. Here I don't have NRV. I don't know what is the real value exactly. Undetected. Have you found mistake? No. Undetected. Is there a mistake? Don't know. Possibility is there, no?
yes, sir.
Okay, possibility is there. You have not identified mistake, but there is a possibility for mistake. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
What would be the impact of the possibility? Is it material only or is it pervasive also? What would be the impact? Our impact is only 5 crores. It is material. Does that 5 crore entirely misrepresent balance sheet? No, it won't misrepresent, but not pervasive. Okay, give which opinion? Qualified
Qualified opinion.
Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, how to bring adverse opinion definition? How to bring disclaimer opinion definition? Here, instead of but not, if you just add the word and, you will get adverse opinion.
Adverse opinion.
In the second part of the definition, if you take this but not and keep and, you will get which definition? Disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
Suppose auditor concluded based on sufficient appropriate evidence. What you have concluded? Liabilities are misstated by 30 crores, fixed assets are misstated by 30 crores, current assets are misstated by 20 crores, that the financial statements are containing mistakes which are material and also pervasive, you give adverse opinion. Say financial statements are wrong. Suppose if the auditor is unable to obtain sufficient appropriate evidence, you have not obtained evidence. And the possible effect of undetected, you have not identified any mistake. You have not identified, but there is a possibility. What could be the possibility? Sir, the possibility is material. Not only material, it is impacting entire balance sheet. If at all there is a mistake, if at all 200 crore worth of go down is damaged, if at all, I don't know whether that is damaged or not, but if at all damaged, entire balance sheet will be misleading. So I don't know whether has it been destroyed or is it in good condition. I don't know. When I don't know 200 crore worth of item in 1000 crores, I cannot comment on the balance sheet. Better I will keep quiet. I will not give opinion. I will say, dear shareholders, I am unable to give my opinion. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Tell me, Sandhya, adverse is most severe or disclaimer is most severe?
Adverse is more severe.
In adverse, you are saying everything is wrong.
Oh.
At least if you are saying, I don't know whether it is correct or not, that's fine. Adverse is dangerous. Now tell me, Sandhya, when you have sufficient and appropriate audit evidence, what is the worst opinion that you can give?
Adverse opinion.
Exactly, adverse opinion. When you don't have evidence, what is the worst opinion you give?
Disclaimer of opinion.
Evidence availability and disclaimer do not come into picture. Not having evidence and adverse opinion do not come into picture. That is impossible. Adverse means you are saying everything is wrong. See, when you have to say everything is right or everything is wrong, right except something is wrong, you want to say something means you need evidence.
Yes, sir.
If you don't have evidence, you can't give opinion. That is disclaimer. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Correct? No. Now.
Yes, sir.
How in audit report, opinion para and basis for opinion paras will be given in audit report. I told you, Sandhya, just to be started, there should be a title. Which title? Independent Auditors Report, correct?
Independent Auditors Report.
Then to address means to shareholders of the company.
Shareholders.
First paragraph is what? Opinion para, right?
Opinion paragraph.
Next paragraph is what? Basis for opinion para, correct? No?
Yes, sir.
Now you see, just a minute. Basis for opinion para, correct? No, this is the para, second para. Now, if you are giving unmodified opinion, you just use the side heading of the audit report can be simply opinion. If you use unmodified, if you give unmodified opinion, side heading of the paragraph will be simply unmodified opinion. And here also second para is simply basis for opinion. Simply basis for opinion. Okay. Now just 1 minute, ma. Actually, one call I'm getting. I need to just hand over a file. I'll just get back. Yes. So when you give, Sandhya, are you there?
Yes, sir.
When you give an unmodified opinion, audit report, side heading can be simply opinion and basis for opinion. But when you give a qualified or adverse or disclaimer, without reading the paragraph, shareholders should understand what opinion you give. So side heading should contain, if it is a qualified opinion, side heading should be qualified opinion. If it is adverse opinion, side heading should be adverse opinion.
Adverse
opinion, side heading should be disclaimer. Same way, next para is what? Basis for opinion. If you give basis qualified opinion, basis for qualified opinion, basis for adverse opinion, basis for disclaimer. See, what is this basis for opinion? What is basis for opinion? Tell me when you should give reason. When you give everything, when you said everything is positive, you are supposed to give reason, or when you are giving negative, you have to give reason. People will ask you reason for positive statement or negative statement. Are you there, ma?
Yes, sir.
Whenever we give negative opinion, we have to give reason. Sandhya, are you there or not?
Yes, sir, I am there.
If you are busy, I'll mute you, don't worry.
No, sir, I can.
Okay, fine. We have to give reason, not when we are giving positive opinion. Suppose when you are giving unqualified opinion, there are so many reasons. Fixed assets are correct, current assets are correct, all are correct, so I am giving unqualified. I cannot give reasons for unqualified opinion clearly. I just give one reason. Basis for opinion para, I'll just give one reason. I did audit as per standards on audit. That's the reason. I did audit and I got evidence, everything. Then I will give unqualified. But if I'm giving qualified opinion, I have a reason. Inventory is misstated by 3 crores.
Yes, sir.
I'm giving adverse opinion, I have reason. Inventory is misstated by 30 crores. The fixed assets are misstated by 20 crores. Liability is misstated by 30 crores. I have reason. So that reason you have to mention in basis for qualified opinion, basis for adverse opinion, basis for disclaimer of opinion. Of course, when you are giving disclaimer, you don't have evidence. Mention
Yes,
that.
sir.
Now, in MCQ of exams, they are asking you in this way. Suppose audit, they will give you 4 paragraphs. 4 paragraphs they'll give you. Which of the following is an example of adverse opinion? Which of the following is an example of adverse opinion? Option A. Option A. Sandhya, listen carefully and answer.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. In our opinion, according to the information and explanation given to us, except for the effect of the matter. Except for the effect of the matter. In our opinion, and according to the information and explanation given to us, except for the effect of matter. Effect of matter. B. In our opinion, and according to the information and explanation, the aforesaid financial statements are showing true and fair view. C. In our opinion, according to the information and explanation, because of significance of matter described in dash. Okay, that's fine. Now tell me which of this will be suitable for adverse opinion.
Option C, sir.
Why?
Because you told that there is significance of matter.
Not
I mean, it is very important, but
qualified opinion means there is only exception. You are giving positive, but exception. Yes or no?
yes, sir.
Whereas adverse opinion, is there any exception? You are striking the negative. Because of, the word comes is because of. D. I mean, fine, that's enough anyhow. That's enough. No, shall we see that how it will come?
No.
Shall we see like how the opinions will come, like how it will be given in the reports? So that is important. That was also being asked in exams now. MTPs you check just MTPs, RTPs. You'll understand how, what kind of benchmark the questions are being. Now see, let us see audit report first. SA 700. First I'm opening illustration below SA 700. Under SA 700 will be there. So this is a SA 700. So this is the illustration. Independent auditors report is the heading, title. Correct? No? Correctly used. Addressing to the members. Correctly used. First paragraph is what? Opinion para. They are also using simply side heading.
Opinion para.
Which opinion they would have given?
Unmodified opinion.
Exactly. Now you see opinion para. First they are giving explanation what they did. We have audited the financial statements of ABC Limited, which comprise balance sheet, P&L, cash flow, notes to accounts, all that. First they gave introduction to what they did. Correct? No? Now in that second sub-para is there. In the opinion paragraph, second sub-para. What is it regarding? In our opinion, and to the best of our information and according to the explanation given to us, this itself says reasonable assurance. In our opinion, based on the information explanation I got, the aforesaid, whatever here I described, no, here I described the financials, no, The aforesaid financials give information required by the Act in the manner so required and give true and fair view in conformity with generally accepted accounting principles in India. Now, which opinion is this?
Unmodified opinion.
Exactly. What is there in the basis for opinion? You see basis for opinion entirely together, one paragraph only there. Is there any reason for me to give unmodified opinion specifically?
No, sir. No, sir.
Then how did you give opinion? What is basis for opinion? Hello, I did audit as per, I conducted audit as per standard.
Standard. Yes, sir.
I am independent of the company. I obtained evidence sufficient appropriate to provide a basis. What is basis for opinion? My evidence is the basis for opinion. I got sufficient appropriate evidence. Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Now let us see how these paragraphs will vary for qualified, adverse, disclaimer. Now let us see for qualified opinion. Qualified opinion, disclaimer opinion, adverse opinion, that illustrations will be there not in SA 700 but in SA 705.
Okay, sir.
So those illustrations will be in the SA 705. Now SA 701 is there. Now in the 705 we need to go. Yes, this is 705. In that illustration one, which opinion illustration? This is qualified opinion. Shall we see the heading? Heading is what? Independent audit report. Addressee to the shareholders, members. See, opinion side heading itself shows qualified. Now, by looking at audit report, I can understand whether it is qualified opinion or adverse opinion. Do I need to read the paragraph and struggle? No need.
No, sir.
Now you see, same here also two paragraphs are there in opinion. One para, what we have audited. Yes, we have audited financials, all that. Correct? No?
Yes,
Second
sir.
one, in our opinion, and to the best of our information and explanation given to us. Of course, here also, based on the information we got. Second line, you say the efforts and financial statements are true and fair view. Correct? No? Which means it's a positive opinion. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
However, in between there is an exception they use. Except for the effects of the matter. There is a matter which is described in basis for qualified opinion section. Below there is a section, para, basis for qualified opinion. In that I described a matter. Except that the financial statements are true and fair.
True and fair.
This is qualified opinion. Now, which means they are giving reason. Why are they qualifying? They are giving reasons. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now you see, they have conducted audit in accordance with standards and auditing as it is there. Not only this, they are also giving specific reason. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Specific reason also they are giving. Why I'm giving qualified? The company's inventory is carried in the balance sheet. Management has not stated inventory at cost or NRV, whichever is lower, but mentioned only at cost, which constitute a departure, violation from accounting standard. Are you getting it? Not only that, you should also mention had management. See that. The company records indicate that management stated a cost of NRV, so an amount would have been required to write down. If at all management has not committed this mistake, what would be the profit? What would be the inventory value? What would be the other values? You have to give quantification. What is it called as? Quantification of mistake. You cannot straight away say inventory is wrong. That's why I'm giving qualified opinion. How much is wrong? If mistake has not happened, if that mistake has not happened, how much would be the net profit? How much would be the cost of sales? How much would be the shareholder funds? If that mistake is not there, okay, the balance sheet P&L were mistaken. If at all that mistake is not there, what would be the values you have to give? If quantification is not possible, sometimes we can't quantify. Sometimes mistake I know, but I can't quantify. Mention that you are unable to quantify because of so and so reason. Mention that you are unable to qualify, unable to quantify number. You are unable to calculate the number. But mention the mistake. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Now you see here also side heading we used is qualified opinion and basis for qualified opinion side headings. Very clearly they are using. Next. Now shall we look at this one?
Adverse opinion.
Yeah, adverse opinion. Okay, I'll go for adverse opinion. Second example itself, next example itself is adverse opinion. Adverse opinion. See the side heading. adverse opinion. Yes or no? Here also you have audited, no? Correct? No? You are giving adverse opinion because you did audit. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
You got evidence, no? In our opinion, adverse opinion is also opinion. Correct or not, Sandhya?
Yes, sir.
In our opinion, to the best of our information and according to the explanation given to us, the aforesaid financial statements do not give, you see, I'm highlighting the word multiple times, do not give true and fair view. That's right. I was saying do not give true and fair. Negative opinion. Why? Because it's not except what if they use it's a qualified opinion. Because of the significance of matter. There is a matter where it is, which is discussed in, which is described in basis for adverse opinion section of our report. In our report, in the report, there is another section, there is another para, basis for adverse opinion para. In that I mentioned that matter. That matter is so significant. Because of that, I am saying financial statements are not true and fair. I am giving adverse opinion. You see here, basis for adverse opinion. They gave clearly the reason why they gave adverse opinion. Yes or no? And of course, in addition to that, you are also mentioning how you did audit, because you have to mention, you have to explain how you do audit. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Clear or not?
Yes, sir, I'm clear.
And not only this, even if you take any foreign company also, same thing will be there. Same audit reports are there even for foreign companies. Okay, I'll come to that later. Now, basis for opinion para is there. What else is there in basis for opinion para? We mentioned that we do audit as per standards of auditing. We also mentioned that we are independent of the company. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
We also mentioned that we fulfilled all the ethical responsibilities. We also mentioned that we believe that the evidence obtained is sufficient, appropriate. You are saying only after I got sufficient evidence, I'm giving this opinion. You are acknowledging people that you did audit perfectly, only then you are giving opinion. Now, beginning, we are also saying we conduct audit as per standards on auditing. Our responsibilities under those standards, the standards gave us so many responsibilities to conduct audit. What are those responsibilities? I am not giving here. I am giving in another para. That point here explained. Here they are explained. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in auditors' responsibilities for audit. Auditors' responsibilities for audit of financial statement. There is another para. There I'm explaining what is my responsibility. What are my responsibilities as per standards on auditing? Okay, I do audit as per standards. Sir, how you do audit as per standards? I am describing that in another para called responsibilities of auditor. Auditor's responsibilities for audit of financial statement. There is another para. So that point is right in basis for opinion. But if it is adverse opinion or disclaimer opinion, basis for adverse, basis for disclaimer, basis for qualified, and you should give specifically the reason. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Now let us see how disclaimer opinion comes. If you see Sandhya, disclaimer opinion, if you observe, disclaimer opinion means what? Do you have any opinion?
No opinion.
No opinion at all. You are not giving any opinion. Have you audited?
Yes, sir.
No. If you audited means, we audited means what? We did audit, we verified everything. That's why you see disclaimer opinion cited in disclaimer. Here you see we were engaged to audit. Whether you take qualified opinion, unqualified opinion, adverse opinion, you will find we have audited. Disclaimer, you see, we have not audited. Why we have not audited, Sandhya?
No evidence.
Exactly. We were engaged to audit. Balance sheet, P&L, cash flow. And you see, in our opinion, we don't have opinion. Is it right statement? In our opinion, we don't have opinion.
Yes, sir.
No, I'm asking, can I mention, in our opinion, I don't have opinion. Can I say this statement? No, right? No, right? We do not express an opinion. You see whether qualified or adverse or disclaimer or you see unqualified, qualified, adverse. In our opinion, to the best of information and explanation given to us. Why? When you're giving unqualified, when you're giving qualified, when you're giving adverse, you got some information and you're giving opinion. That's why you use the word in our opinion according to the information and explanation given to us. Here you don't have evidence. You didn't get any explanation. You didn't get any information. No evidence at all. How can you use that word in our opinion? You can't, because you don't have opinion. Straight away say, we do not express an opinion. What is that? We do not express an opinion on the financial statements. Why? Why are you not expressing? Because significance of matter. There is a matter that is so significant. Described where? Basis for disclaimer opinion section of our report. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now you see, in every case, unqualified, qualified, adverse, we gave another para. What we gave? We have conducted audit as per standards on auditing. All that I gave. But here I am not giving, you see.
Yes, sir.
Why? Because I have not done the audit. When I have not completed, when I have not conducted the audit, why people want to know how I do audit?
Yes, sir.
Clear, Sangha?
Yes, sir, I'm clear.
These paragraphs will be tested as MCQ or true or false. You be careful. Suppose I'll mention one statement. Is that statement true or not? You have to tell me. Others also, please. In our opinion, according to the information and explanation given to us, because of significance of matter described in basis for disclaimer opinion section of our report.
A statement is false, sir, because in our opinion.
Exactly. You said in our opinion and continued with because of significance of matter described in disclaimer. Can they both come in the same para?
No, sir.
No, exactly. Are you clear? Suppose I'll give another statement. Now tell me. In our opinion, and according to the information and explanation given to us, because of the effect of the matter given in basis for qualified opinion section.
Yes, sir, we can.
False. I said because of. Actually, the word is what? Except.
Oh, okay, sir.
Only when I use the word except for the effect of matter described in qualified opinion. If it is adverse or disclaimer, because of significance of matter described in basis for adverse or basis for disclaimer. Are you clear?
Yes, sir, I'm clear.
We were engaged to audit. This paragraph starts in which opinion?
Disclaimer of opinion.
Exactly. We have audited. We'll start in all the three types of opinions. Clear?
Yes, sir, I'm clear.
So that's it. Opinions discussion is completed. See, the sentence what I told is, in our opinion, according to the information and explanation given to us, because of effect of matter described in basis for qualified opinion. This is the sentence I used. Is this sentence true or false? I asked. False. Why? Because of effect of matter described in basis for qualified opinion, that is wrong. Basis for qualified opinion means exception or because. Which word you have to use? Except or because?
Exception.
Except. Because the word because can be used either in adverse opinion or in disclaimer opinion. I don't use except. I don't use because also. I straight away said, in our opinion, according to the information and explanation given to us, the efforts and financial statements are prepared in accordance with the act and they were true and fair. Which opinion is this? I'll tell you once again. In our opinion and according to the information and explanation given to us, the efforts and financial statements are showing information as required by the Act in the manner so required and are in conformity with generally accepted accounting principles. Which para?
Unmodified.
Exactly, unmodified. Understood now the differentiation between various opinions?
Yes, sir.
Now what I told is audit report paragraphs. What I told now is audit report paragraphs. Sometimes MCQs may be asked on definitions. What is a qualified opinion? If auditor concluded based on sufficient appropriate evidence that the financial statements are containing misstatements and are material but not pervasive. This opinion?
Qualified opinion.
Second part of the qualified opinion. If auditor is unable to obtain sufficient appropriate evidence and concluded that the possible effect of undetected misstatements on financials could be material and pervasive. Which opinion?
Adverse opinion.
Disclaimer. Both of them said correct answer. I said auditor is unable to obtain sufficient appropriate evidence and concluded that the possible effect of undetected misstatement is material and also pervasive. Suppose if it is material but not pervasive.
Qualified opinion.
Exactly. But not pervasive. But not pervasive.
Qualified opinion.
Exactly. If auditor concluded based on sufficient appropriate evidence that the financial statements are free from material misstatements and are prepared in accordance with applicable financial reporting framework.
Unmodified opinion.
Exactly. Very good. So you should have that command on the entire sentence as terminology. Confident, everyone? Okay. I'll just give another 5 to 10 minutes gap. Again, I'll get back. Then after, as soon as I get back, I will discuss about emphasis of matter para, other matter para. Are you all ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 5 minutes. I'll just take a gap of 5 minutes. Okay. But I'm shouting now continuously. That's fine. So SA 706, emphasis of matter para, other matter para in the independent audit report. So what is an emphasis of matter para? It is a para in the independent audit report that refers to an information presented or disclosed in the financial statements. First of all, tell me, Sandhya, what do you mean by emphasize?
To highlight.
Exactly, to highlight. Emphasize means to highlight. What I want to highlight? Some information I want to highlight. Where is that information? It is presented or disclosed in financial statements. I wanted to highlight an information which is either presented or disclosed in the financial statements. If I want to highlight that information, where I want to highlight, by the way?
The emphasis of matter paragraph.
In which report I want to highlight?
Or audit report.
Exactly. In the independent audit report, along with opinion and basis for opinion, I want to use another para called emphasis of matter para. Here I want to highlight an important point. Sir, what is the purpose of this para? Okay, highlight. Okay, fine. What is the purpose of para? There is a company called ILFS. You see financial year 17-18 audit report, and you see the financial year 17-18 financial statements. Notes to accounts is how many pages? 120 pages. The notes to accounts itself is how many pages? 120 pages notes to accounts. Balance sheet, P&L, cash flow statement, statement of changes in equity, and for balance sheet, P&L, whatever detailed explanation is given where? Notes to accounts. And this 120 pages contains how many note points? Around 55 note points. Sorry, 60 note points. They contain around 60 note points they are contained. Now, tell me, Sandhya, do you think everybody, a shareholder, reads this entire 120 pages?
No, sir.
No. But should auditor read 120 pages?
Yes, sir. He needs to verify each and everything.
Exactly. See, you may not verify 100% books of accounts, but financial statements, you need to verify each and every page, because you are signing.
Yes, sir.
You have to verify
Yes,
each and every page. So I am the auditor. I am the ILFS auditor. I read 120 pages. Somewhere when I am reading, I saw 45th point. That is describing about a fire accident happened in one of the main factory of the company, one of the main godown of the company, one of the main warehouse of the company. There is a fire accident due to which company has suffered massive loss. And of course, insurance claim they got 70%, but 30% they bear out of pocket. They described it. They described it very clearly, Sandhya. Did they do any mistake here? Sandhya,
no, sir.
Is there any mistake in describing regarding that? Is there any material misstatement? Are they misleading any information?
No.
No.
No, sir.
They are giving 100% accurate information. Everything is fair. Is there any material misstatement in this point? No.
No, sir.
Can I give qualified opinion on this?
No, sir.
When there is no material misstatement, how can I give qualified? Qualified opinion means what?
Qualified.
Raising objection. There is a remark. Is there any remark? No, everything is fine. But I felt this 45th note point is very important. Every shareholder should read this. How can I draw the attention of the shareholder to this 45th point?
Through emphasis of matter, through highlighting.
Exactly. Through highlighting in the emphasis of matter paragraph, I will draw your attention to that note number 45. How we write this note number 45? We draw your attention to note number 45 of notes to accounts, which describes about recent fire accident happened and the loss sustained by the company for an amount of so and so. Now tell me, should I need to explain entire issue here?
No, sir.
I just give a brief idea about the issue. I'll explain. I am drawing the attention, note number 45. Why am I mentioning here? So that the person will go to that note point and read entirely thoroughly. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Suppose in note number 45, actually fire accident company sustained loss of 30 crore, but they are showing intentionally 10 crore. Can I highlight this point in emphasis of matter para?
No, sir.
No. What should I do here?
You need to give either qualified or adverse opinion.
Exactly. When an issue I want to highlight an issue. If that issue contain material misstatements, if it is pervasive, you should give adverse opinion. If it is not pervasive, you should give qualified opinion. Now that means Sandhya, emphasis of matter para. I can emphasize only that matter which is not materially misstated. Correct? No?
Yes, sir.
The matter which I want to highlight should not have any mistake. Only then I can highlight. If the matter is having mistake, I should not highlight it. I should straight away give qualified opinion, adverse opinion. Indirectly tell me, Sandhya, giving qualified opinion is also nothing but giving attention to it.
No, sir.
Indirectly. When I mention so and so point, misleading means indirectly I'm giving attention to that point.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's it. Are you clear? Somebody is asking. Yeah, fine, Smritesh. That is also correct logic. Okay, now next. So that is emphasis of matter para. So what is emphasis of matter para? It is a para in the audit report. So now, see the definition also so beautifully crafted. It is a para in the independent audit report. What is it is describing? That refers to an information where it is presented or disclosed in financial statements. So this is the definition for emphasis of matter para. Are you clear? Now coming to other matter para. It is a para, correct? No? In independent audit report, what it refers to? That refers to an information other than presented or disclosed in financial statements. This is the only word added for other matter para. Other than. Why this? If at all this paragraph is removed, Sandhya, what definition it would be?
Sir?
Other matter para definition I wrote here. It is a para in the financials or in the audit report. That refers to information presented or disclosed in financials. But in between there is a word called other than. If I take out this other than, what definition it would be?
Emphasis of matter.
Exactly. If I use the word other than, it is other matter para. Other than presented or disclosed. What is there in financial statements? You are not referring that. You are referring to something else. So that is other matter para. Example. You take State Bank of India audit report. Other matter paragraph of State Bank of India audit report refers to branch auditors details. What details? Branch auditors details.
Branch auditor.
You look at other matter paragraph of Reliance Industries Limited audit report on consolidated financial statements. Reliance audit report you take. Reliance Industries you take. They have two financial statements, standalone financials, consolidated financials. On this there is an audit report. On this there is an audit report. I'm talking about audit report on consolidated financial statements of Reliance Industries Limited. In that audit report, other matter paragraph, if you take, what it refers to, you know, what they say, you know, out of the consolidated financial statements, 279 subsidiary companies, some 48 associate companies were audited by other auditors. Tell me, is this information, who audited subsidiary company, is that information available in notes to accounts of the company?
No, sir.
No. So other matter paragraph generally describes two types of issues. Who did branch audits? Who did branch audits? Or who did subsidiary company audits? The question of branch comes standalone financials. Question of subsidiary comes consolidated financial statements. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, other matter para also used for another case. SCA 510. Read with SCA 710. Two paragraphs are there, two standards are there. For that purpose also we use other matter para. The financial statements of preceding year, last year, were audited by previous auditor, and previous auditor expressed unmodified or modified opinion. You need to explain about, suppose Sandhya, you are the auditor in current year, last year somebody else is the auditor. What opinion he gave in the last year, that you have to mention in current year audit report given by you in the paragraph called other matter paragraph.
Other matter paragraph.
That is other matter para. Understood. Now everyone tell me, understood when unmodified opinion, understood modified opinion, we understood emphasis of matter para, we understood other matter para. Yes or no? By the way, emphasis of matter para,
Yes,
other
sir.
matter para, are we giving any opinion in them?
No, sir.
We are only giving some additional information. That information may be there in financials or may be there somewhere. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
If that additional information is something related to financial statements, then it is called as emphasis of matter. If it is not related to financial statements, then it is called as other matter para.
Other matter para.
Now you see, if you observe, we understood 7-8 points also, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now let us start key audit matter. Are you clear until now?
Yes, sir.
Clear? Now by the way, we will also see one practical example on other matter para. Other matter para, I will show you what is a practical example. Suppose Reliance Industries cycle. Is it visible? Just a minute. Yeah, now visible. Sandhya, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am there.
Yeah, is it visible? Reliance Industries Limited?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's
Yeah, yeah,
visible.
fine. Now there is an independent auditor's report. Consolidated financials, independent audit report on consolidated financials, 313 is the page. Okay, let us go and see. Where is 313? Yeah, we have reached. Yeah, this is the independent auditor's report. This is the independent auditor's report. Okay, on consolidated financial statements. Suppose you see emphasis of matter para, we draw attention to note number 1.8 of the consolidated financial statements. By the way, are you giving any modified opinion here? Are you raising any objection?
No, sir.
That's why at the end of emphasis of matter, you should clearly mention our opinion is not modified. You should mention that. Otherwise, no. A layman, no, when he is reading, why auditor pointed out only note number 1.8? He may get a doubt, no? So at the end of the para, you should clearly mention that your opinion is not modified here. I don't have any objection on this. I'm just highlighting. Are you clear? Suppose I'll show you the material also. I'll show you the material. Emphasis of matter para. We will compare it with the material. Now see, emphasis of matter para is the definition visible? It is a paragraph in the auditor's report that refers to matter, some information presented or disclosed in financial statements. Correct? No?
Yes, sir.
Now usage of emphasis of matter para. How you have to, why you will use emphasis of matter para is used to draw attention to a matter which is important for user. By the way, it is important for user. No, according to whose point of view it is important?
Yes, sir.
No, I'm asking question.
Yes, sir. I'm
According to whose point of view such information is important for shareholders? Who feel that is important?
auditor point of view.
In view of the auditor's judgment. The auditor shall include an emphasis of matter only he has obtained sufficient appropriate evidence that there is no material misstatement in the financial statements. Correct?
Yes, sir.
What is the manner of presentation? How you will present? Include the paragraph within separate section of the auditor report. Separate section. Can you merge it as part of opinion para?
No, sir.
Can I say emphasis of matter para need not be given separately?
No, sir.
It should be separate. Yes or no? With a heading called emphasis of matter. You see Reliance audit report. Have they given separately? You see opinion is given separately. Emphasis is given separately. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And heading also clearly they mention emphasis of matter. That's what even standard says. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Shall express the matter being highlighted. Express the matter highlight and give reference to such matter in the financials. See here, Reliance auditors, are they emphasizing? We draw attention to the note number 1.8. Have they given reference or not? Accordingly, this paragraph shall refer only to information presented or disclosed in financial statement. Not only that, also state that auditor's opinion is not modified. You should also mention you don't have any objection. Have they mentioned Reliance auditors? See here,
Yes,
our
sir.
opinion is not modified. Did they mention or not? Whatever is there in the standard as it is followed. That's why I say auditing is the most practical subject, not a theoretical subject. Everything is there in book, is there in reality. Clear? Now, what is other matter para?
Yes, sir.
Definition, you see, it is a paragraph in the auditor report that refers to some matter other than presented or disclosed in financials. It is not there in financials. This is mainly deals with responsibilities in case of branch audit, joint audit, all the points I will mention here. In other matter paragraph, we will also mention who did audit of last year. What opinion he gave in the last year. We will also mention that. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
That's it. That's other matter para. Now you see Reliance Industries other matter para. I will show you what they gave in other matter para. Other matter paragraph is also some information para. You are giving some additional information. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So what is there in other matter para in the Reliance Industries Limited? Yeah, see, it's already crossed. Yeah, other matter para. You see here. Other matter para 1 point what they gave is below. Now tell me, Sandhya, you know consolidation of financial statements?
Yes, sir.
Consolidation of financial statements means the ultimate holding company will consolidate all its subsidiary companies' balance sheet and P&L and give one single balance sheet. Correct? No?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me whether holding company, subsidiary company are the different entities or one and same?
Different entities.
Do they have different auditors or same auditor for entire group?
Same auditor for entire group.
Differ, no. Do you think Reliance and all its subsidiary companies have same auditor?
No, sir. No, sir.
It may or may not, correct? No.
Yes, sir.
Now, Reliance. Now tell me, consolidated financial statements is prepared by holding company or subsidiary companies?
Both combined, sir.
I'm asking who will prepare. I know process, they are combined.
Holding company will prepare.
If a company is a holding company, it has to prepare generally its own balance sheet and P&L. That we call it a standalone financial statement.
Standalone.
In addition to that, it has to prepare balance sheet and P&L by considering holding plus all subsidiary companies. That is called consolidated financials. Correct?
Consolidated.
Now, which means this company has two sets of financial statements. Correct?
Yes, sir.
And this holding company will have some auditor, no?
Yes, sir.
That auditor has to give audit report on standalone financial statements. That auditor has to give audit report on consolidated.
Consolidated.
But and my question is, in consolidated financial statements, the company which I am doing audit is there, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And not only that company information is there, but also assets and liabilities of subsidiary companies, subsidiary 2, subsidiary 3, subsidiary 4, subsidiary 5, subsidiary 100. These subsidiary companies also there. For these companies, I am not the auditor, but that is also there, no?
Yes, sir.
All together only consolidation came, but who is giving audit report on consolidation? Only me. Now, in this consolidated financial, subsidiary company information is audited by some other auditors. Only holding company audited, on that I am giving opinion, this is fine. But in consolidation also I am giving opinion which includes information audited by other auditors.
Other auditors.
So, which means if something is wrong in subsidiary company data, am I responsible?
No, sir.
Why? Because that is not audited by me.
Audited by
That is audited by
other auditors.
Yes, sir.
Subsidiary audit.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
I should tell this point in my audit report. No.
Yes, sir.
Dear shareholder, see, I am giving opinion on consolidated financials, but don't think I did audit of entire subsidiary companies. Subsidiary companies are audited by other auditors. Sir, okay, other auditors audited. How you are giving opinion? Look, other auditors audited, no. They forwarded me their reports. My report I have on holding company. I have audit report on subsidiary company. Can I merge these two and give single report? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That's what I will explain in other matter para. That's what I explain in other matter para. What will I explain in other matter para? I will explain in other matter para. Who audited subsidiary companies? Who audited branches? That information I will mention. Another information what I will mention in other matter para. Who audited last year? Who audited current year? Current year, of course, I am auditing. Who audited last year? What opinion he gave? Just this is also additional information which you have to give as per SA 7. Clear. Now you see here what auditors are saying. Sandhya, are you there? We
Yes, sir.
not audit. We did not audit the financial statements and other financial information. We did not audit the financial statements and other financial information in respect of 321 subsidiaries, 97 associate companies. But these information is also included in consolidated financials. And our report is purely based on such other auditors. Have you gave opinion on entire consolidated data? I am not giving opinion here. I am giving only an holding company. Remaining companies I am giving opinion based on their auditor's report. They said unmodified, I will also say unmodified. If they said qualified, I will say qualified. If they say adverse, I will say adverse, depending upon the situation. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
So that is one reason why other matter paragraph is used.
Okay, sir.
If we only audited last year, then other matter paragraph, that point is not required.
Okay, sir.
Okay, that's about other matter para. Now one more requirement as per SA 706. One more requirement as per SA 706 is whenever you include emphasis of matter or other matter paragraph, no. Whenever you want to include emphasis other matter, no. First tell to management that you want to use it.
Okay, sir.
Inform them first, then use it. Clear?
Yes, sir.
That's emphasis of matter, other matter para. My God. Then we have another standard, SA 701. Communicating communicating key audit matters in the independent auditor's report. Communicating key audit matters in the independent auditor's report. Now another new term came, key audit matter. Right now we understood these terms: unqualified opinion, qualified opinion, adverse opinion, disclaimer opinion, emphasis of matter para, other matter para, basis for opinion, yes or no? And we understood unmodified opinion, modified opinion. And now we are discussing KAM, key audit matter. Another term we are discussing. What is key audit matter? What is a key audit matter? I will write the definition first. Key audit matters are those which in auditor's professional judgment, were of significant in conducting audit of current year. These matters were addressed while conducting audit of current year. While conducting audit and forming opinion on the financial statements. While conducting audit and forming of an opinion on financial statements. This is a definition which we exactly use in audit report, which we exactly copy paste in audit report. Key audit matters are those in auditor's professional judgment were of most significant while conducting audit of the current year, and these are the matters which are addressed in the context of our audit of financial statements and while expressing opinion thereon. This is a para exactly we use. Same matter, key audit matter is called as key audit matter only in Europe. In America, US, they are called as critical audit matter, CAM, critical audit matter. We call it as key audit matter. Okay, definition appears so big, no? First, let us think from common sense point of view. Everyone there?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just explain it in common sense point of view. Technically, we'll discuss tomorrow. Tomorrow we will close audit reporting full chapter. Tomorrow, I think 2.5 3 hours it will take. Still, we have 5 more days, no? So tomorrow we will take audit reporting in full. We will spend no problem, because if you understand audit reporting thoroughly, remaining part of auditing is so easy for you to learn. Key audit matter. That is the definition of key audit matter. Now tell me, am I discussing something related to financial statements? Sandhya, tell me. Am I discussing something related to financial statements?
No, sir.
No. Sritesh said no. You're also saying no. Why? Name itself says no, it is audit matter. If I'm discussing something about financial statements, that is emphasis of matter, para. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
If I'm discussing something about branch audit, subsidiary company audit, that is not my audit matter.
Other matter.
That is there in other matter, para. If I'm discussing about last year, that is not key audit matter. Key audit matter means it's something related to audit matter current year. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So I'm not talking about financial statements, amounts, values, disclosures, and all. I'm not talking about branch audit, last year audit, all that. Is key audit matter an objection?
No, sir, it's not an objection.
Is it a remark? Is
No,
it
sir.
Reservation,
No, sir.
remark, observation, qualification. If at all I have all of this, I will give a qualified opinion, basis for qualified opinion. For adverse opinion, I'll give basis for adverse opinion. I'll give disclaimer or basis for disclaimer opinion. There I'll give no if I have all of this. Then why? What is key audit matter? Name itself says it's an audit related issue. What is it? It's an audit related issue. Sir, what do you mean by audit related issue? Audit related issue means it is something which I face in audit. Okay, sir, you are doing audit for 40 days, no? There are so many issues in audit. In 40 days, you would have faced so many issues. But I'm not giving all the issues I'm facing. I'm only selecting important issues. Sunil said which is most significant. Correct, no? Which I feel most significant. Only significant issues I will mention here. Significant audit matters I will mention here. Again, little confusion. Sir, what is audit matter? Audit matter means matter related to audit. Matter related to audit. By the way, before I proceed further, tell me, Sandhya, emphasis
Yes.
of matter paragraph, other matter paragraph. Forget about other matter paragraph. Emphasis of matter, is it mandatory? Auditor should highlight compulsory. Is it mandatory?
No, sir. No, sir.
No. If you want to highlight, you can highlight. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Same with key audit matter. Important audit matter. Is it mandatory?
It's not mandatory.
Arey yaar, if you have any important matter, you communicate. If you don't have, don't communicate. Who
Yes,
asked
sir.
for you? It is not compulsory. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
It is not compulsory. Sir, it is not compulsory. Emphasis is not compulsory. Why are these standards are there? For betterment. For betterment. Make sure your audit report is not boring. Make sure your audit report is engaging. Make sure your audit report contains so much of additional information. Yes or no? If I make my audit report more and more informative, people read it thoroughly, no? So, what is key audit
Yes, sir.
matter? Key audit matter. Now you see the definition. Key audit matters are those in auditor's professional judgment, in auditor's point of view, were of most significant while conducting audit of current year and were addressed while conducting audit and forming opinion on the financial statements. While conducting audit, I addressed these matters. Address means what? I worked on these matters. Suppose tell me, I want to example how I did audit of purchases. Company purchases are very rigid, very complex. So many vendors are there. Everybody, whenever I'm entering this company, everybody told me, sir, purchases is very risky area. They told me purchases is risky area. Now, how I worked on purchases. I want to tell this information to people. Sandhya, I want to
Yes,
tell
sir.
this purchases information. How I verified purchases. I want to share it to the people. Can I highlight it under emphasis of matter? How
Yes,
I did
sir.
audit of
Because
just a minute. How I did audit of purchases? Will it be there in notes to accounts?
no, sir.
Will it be there in financial statements?
No, sir.
So emphasis cannot be used. Yes or no?
Key audit matter is to be used because it's
Exactly. So purchases, I told already risky. When it is risky means it is important for me. No, I need to verify so detailed. How I did audit of purchases, I verified key audit matter. Simply, key audit matter is a paragraph where you will give how you worked on a particular area. That's it. Sritesh is saying it is like sharing an experience to give the readers of an audit report an insight into the audit process. Exactly. Excellent. If at all I'm a layman, I want to know how auditor will do audit. But will I get that information anywhere? Exactly in this company, how auditor verified sales. Can I know? No. Suppose if auditor give that information, I will understand how auditor verified it. Yes or no?
yes, sir.
So, through key audit matter, I can explain to the readers, I can explain to the users how the process of audit is carried out. How I verified a particular segment sales, how I verified a particular segment purchases, how I verified a particular segment liabilities. People will understand how if I give that. Just an additional information about how I do audit. Now tell me, Sandhya, can I tell entire my 40 days how I did audit? Pages will not be.
No, sir.
I can't explain entire my 40 days process, but I can explain one area, 2 areas,
Yes, sir.
3 areas I can explain. Yes or no? Which areas you will explain? Will you
Yes.
select? If suppose something you want to keep in audit report, will you select unimportant or important?
Important.
That's what key. Are you clear? Key audit matter. If you want to tell audit matter, make sure it is important one. Then explain it. That's it. That's key audit matter. Now, what is key audit matter? How it is to be selected? When key audit matter should not be used? What are the restrictions on key audit matter? All that we will discuss in the tomorrow's class. Confident everyone until now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So